Hey, good day. Giving you a Wednesday afternoon blurb on a Thursday. Some things came up, kind of took care of my afternoon for me. I'm sure you all understand that. But today I'm going to read for you a devotional from Richard Rohr, his book called Yes and. It's a very good book of daily devotionals. And this one is about spacious silence allows a spacious God. Let's think about that for a minute. God is just so big, and if we think about it, so is silence. All things really can happen, they can fit into, they can occur in the silent. In the silent places and spaces, because there is God. God in the fullest form. I think that, yes, we find our purposes. God directs us. But something I also think is that we never really truly know God's purpose for us because we don't realize how full we can become with God. We kind of put one of those, kind of a governor on it, so it doesn't run full throttle. We sell ourselves short. So often I think we sell ourselves short. We can, in fact, do all things through Christ. And I believe the more we do what Richard Rohr is about to tell us, I think the fuller our purposes become. And as we'll see, sometimes that purpose is in the spacious silence, because God is that big that God fills every place and space there is. So Richard Rohr says this. This is one good thing that silence and waiting has taught me. Our lives are always usable by God. We need not always be effective, but only transparent and vulnerable. Then we are instruments no matter what we do. Silence is the ability to trust that God is acting, teaching, and using me even before I perform or after my seeming failures. Silence is the necessary space around things that allows them to develop and flourish without my pushing. God takes it from there. There's not much point in comparing who's better, who's right, who's higher, who's lower, or supposedly saved. We are all partial images coming into focus as long as we allow and filter the light and love of God, which longs to shine through us as us. Said it before, I'll say it again. To be our true and authentic selves is God's purpose for us. And it's God's purpose for others, to allow them to be their true and authentic selves. But this reminds me what Richard Rohr is saying about the silence and the spacious God who works in between things, right? God works in between our purpose for God's purpose. So we never really know the true purpose, but we can find out more about it if we let ourselves go. And it reminds me of something that Paul said in Romans chapter 8, verse 28. It's like this. If we believe what Richard Rohr says about God working in the spaces, then we know that all things work together for good, for those who love God, who are called according to his purpose. The silence, being vulnerable and transparent in the silence, is our purpose. Yeah, sometimes we don't do things perfectly according to our purpose. according to the way we want it done. But God's working more around us as God works through us. And so if we are who God created us to be, and that is to really express ourselves by our nature, by how we feel and who we are to be, then we are true to our purpose. And sometimes that purpose means just being silent, being with someone else, and being silent with them, so God's presence can come through us and be present with them, so they too can be who God intended them to be. But remember, don't sell yourself short. Our God is a spacious God, a big God, a huge God, everywhere, and all things are for the good with God. Yeah. So don't shy away from that saying, be perfect as your heavenly Father is perfect. That's what we should strive for. Not hitting ourselves over the head with baseball bats because we think we've failed. Because God's still working through us, no matter what. Even in the silence. So have a good day. God not only empowers us, but remember, you in fact, being created in the image of God, how does he say it? The light and love of God which longs to shine through us as us. Indeed. God also works through us in the silence. So peace.